Welcome to INFINTECH, where decision makers connect. INFINTECH is organized by Logate, your painless vendor for digital journey, in partnership with Mastercard, empowering connections, shaping tomorrow.
Dear INFINTECH guests, welcome from my side as well. I'm very pleased to welcome you on this third INFINTECH year. And of course, it's a great pleasure for me to be a moderator on the panel with this title. I hope that I personally and believe strongly my panelists will give some substantial answers to all the questions that we have when this question is on our roadmap. I'll just give one small comment on the sessions that we had so far. Someone mentioned the purpose, Ivice. I would say that Logate is a great company, but as well, from my experience for these 3 years, I think that INFINTECH is gaining another bigger, huger purpose for the whole region, for the Western Balkan countries, for the integration that are in front of us, for all the EU battles that we need to win successfully in order to be the part of the EU. So thank you all of that for all of this that we've done so far. And please now allow me to introduce my guest for today, Gordana Kalezić, in front of the Central Bank, Director of Directorate for Prevention of Money Laundering, Terrorism Financing and Customer Protection. Welcome. Vladislav Vasilev, Regional Manager for Western Balkans, coming from Evrotrust. And Dragan Budić, Vice President of Global Data and General Manager of Serbia, NCR Atleos. Welcome. We just had a small discussion in the backstage. Sorry, Ivica, again, I need to mention you didn't have a woman on the previous panel with the CEO, so now there are two of us, and now on average you have gender equality. So today the task in front of us is to give some answers and questions and maybe to leave some which are not answered and cannot be answered at this point of time. The purpose and the responsibility of those leaders which are responsible is to see the beyond current practices, and the responsibility of those industries which tend to be sustainable is to invest because of the long-term perspective, not because of the short-term profits. So digital onboarding within the topic of digital transformation is something which becomes a crucial milestone in order to say that the banking industry is really competitive and coming to the stage where actually clients expect to see us. I would start with the question for the Vladislav. From your broad experience coming from the company, which is a QSTP provider for the whole EU, identity verification company for the whole EU with different practices and use cases from different countries. How do you see currently the picture for our region? And from your experience, what is a golden bullet?
Thanks, Danijela. Well, if I may, I want to start just by saying thank you to Suzanne Williams and the organizers for having her. I think having people outside of the industry sharing such insights, it's very, very valuable for everybody. She mentioned some profound, yet basic things on just human level. One thing she mentioned that we all should have a different perspective. We all have different perspective, individual perspective. But being kind of involved in the region for the last few years, I think we should also leverage on how much we have in common as well. We are all like very warm people, generous people, and we have common upbringing. And I think this is a valuable asset that we should all use. That being said, in terms of onboarding, it's fragmented. So we have local specifics basically in every country. Bulgaria is in the European Union, so we follow these regulations, and all the rest of the countries in the region are following in that direction. But it's very fragmented, as I said, and I think we need more communication and more trust on that level. in order to kind of move together and to be able to use, basically put together all the small economies into one and learn from each other. So I want to give an example with Albania, however. Albania is a country that has been moving quite quick in that direction and been doing some brave steps. And I really would like to see a little bit more cooperation between the countries in the region as well, from other players in the market as well.
Okay, great, thank you. I didn't mention at the beginning, but we prepared together a few slides which will be shown while we're maintaining this discussion. So in case that we stir up any kind of question from the audience, please be free at the end to ask. We'll have maybe a few minutes, not maybe, we'll have a few minutes left for the questions. So transforming banking and financial industry is a huge topic, and I found here a few hints which can be useful. These 4 angles seems to me something which is crucial for bank to drive parallelly and not to be disbalance here in terms of improving customer satisfaction and improving employee experience as well. Transforming through regulation, something that we will mention through the next question, and as well optimizing operational efficiency. Of course, this is not something which can be done so easily, but I think something went wrong here. Can you just start from the beginning? Okay. But I think if we actually have within the strategy and within our resources a kind of balance to maintain this circle, that we can be more effective and make less mistakes. Ms. Kalezić, from the perspective of the regulator, and with so intensive roadmap on your side, we know these days that we had some huge steps forward and that some huge things are as well in front of us. In this first question, I would like for you to elaborate a bit on the possibilities that the new AML law actually gives us in Montenegro in terms of video electronic identification. And usually compliance with the regulation brings costs and lots of efforts, but as well we should maybe find some possibilities within it, and we are believing that here we have a huge possibility to make a balance within this circle. So please.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the questions. I think that you said it right, you said it properly. It could be a conclusion, overall conclusion. Before I start by saying what you would like to hear from in relation to the question, I would just like to say that, as I already commented, it's really hard after these inspiring speeches and talks from this morning, especially with, after Ms. Williams' story about hostage negotiation, it's really hard to start with the regulation and provisions. Yeah. So I have to say I'm sorry to the public that you need to listen now to this. I just wanted to say and to repeat what you already said. The balance is really important, and from the perspective of central bank, we are always on the, let me say, we believe that we are always on the top of the topics and important things that we are initiating. We are trying to accelerate the market. We are trying to introduce innovation, digitalization, and in that sense, we are, as a regulator, obliged by the, of course, regulation that we have to implement in Montenegro and to transpond from EU. In that sense, we recognized as one of the biggest impediments a couple of years ago, non-possibility for onboarding, online onboarding, and we initiated amendments of the AML-CFT law, introducing the possibility to start with the online onboarding. I have to say that one of the really most important thing or segment in this part is cooperation between key players on the institutional level, on the institutional side, which means that we really need to have on board all the key actors, not just the central bank, which is one of the, as I said, with the vision of digital economy, digital society in a way of every possible and good innovation segment to put in place. But at the same time, we have to cooperate, and we have, let me say, good cooperation with the administration, which could, let me say, speed up or restrict more the vision that we are trying to put in place. In that sense, as I said, we have initiated amendments of the law. Now we have the framework, the basic one from the perspective of AML CFT, as identification is one of the most important and the crucial step in the sense of security, in the sense of safety of the clients, and of course of the safety and security of the banking sectors as the major and the most important players. Nonetheless, we have also payment institutions, fintech companies, and other players in the field. So cooperation between these key actors should be always on the top level in order to speed up good initiatives that also central bank not just giving our initiative ourselves, like the initiative that we want to put in place, but also in cooperation with the private sector, listening let me say innovation suggestions that could be put in place. Then we are let me say acting as a good channel for going forward with the regulation. I know that as from our side everything is in place, and we are expecting a lot of let me say field of digitalization, and we are on board with along with the and leading the banking sector. And at the same time, we are expecting from other players to be in line to put the rest of the needed laws and regulation as it should be in line with the EU, of course, EU directives and EU regulation, and to put the safe and sound system in place in order to really give the possibility, the potential, to open the potential to have good environment, solid, safe environment to go with the innovation and of course in the favor of all the clients in Montenegro.
If you allow me, since we don't have a bank representative on the side of the panelists, so I will take now a bit of this other role to comment, not just as a moderator. These huge transformations in terms of importing into the banks new technologies, which is always followed by different kind of risks, of course, behind that, should be a path of working and learning parallelly. So I think that from that perspective, position of vendors, commercial banks, and regulator who will be advisor in that process is, I would say, crucial to be successful there, because we are on the same road together. In the meantime, I changed the slide with a little bit of more statistics. We need remote onboarding, but we need one which is state of the art, and it's a must-have. Current statistics for EMEA region, it's not something new. We know that in some processes we are good enough. We know that in some processes we need a huge improvements. These Deloitte data are for legal entities and for their onboarding to the account opening and loan origination processes, and it's 14 days. Financial crime compliance, something that again is an interesting fact in terms how much it is costs and costly for banks to be fully compliant with all the new regulations if we really rely only on the backlog of the IT systems that we have, 98% more. And of course, friction expenses. Each 1 point increase in customer experience on the scale of 1 to 10 gives 3% rise in revenue. So again, we need this multi-aspect approach in order to be really successful. And there we come to the question for Dragan and for NCR Atleos, actually from another perspective. So digital channels are great and we need them, but we still have branches. We still have a legacy of the brick and mortar banking. And your company actually has a huge experience in helping banks to bridge actually these stages and to make omni-channel onboarding really, really possible. So please share your concrete professional experience, but private ones as well, because you're for a long time in this business.
Yes. So first, thank you for the given opportunity to be a part of this great event. Thank you for having me here. It is my pleasure. This is one of my favorite countries, so I like to be here always. Yes, I'm in the industry for the long time. NCR is also in the industry for more than 100 years, so we have experience in transforming the branches and helping banks to digitalize themselves. So speaking about digital onboarding in terms of branch transformation, it's not anymore just opening account online. It's definitely not anymore just that. It's a more like creating the entire omni-channel experience for our customers and also for your customers. So we see that the branch landscape is changing. We see that the number of branches is declining year over year, shifting to digital. And this digital shift really brings new opportunities. It's not threat, it's basically opportunity. And I will give you an example. So it, for example, enables branch employees to focus more on high-value interactions with their clients, and also to serve more like advisory hubs rather than traditional hubs, rather than implementing traditional approach that we have today to serve in the future more like advisory hubs. While all let's say, repetitive tasks are either automized or switched to the self-service channel, such as, for example, video-enabled ATMs. Video-enabled ATMs are really crucial nowadays. They are changing the industry, and statistics shows that the video-enabled ATMs, that the compound annual growth rate of the video-enabled ATMs is 8.5%, which is a really huge year-over-year growth. We as a company recognize that opportunity, and we managed to become the market leader, the global market leader in video-enabled ATMs, with the market share today, not that I think, it's for sure more than 80% global market share. So how we managed to get there? We managed to get there by bringing both physical and digital channel through one channel, which is a self-service channel, ATM, ITM, or video-enabled ATMs.
Great, thank you. I think that, I mean, on this market, but on the surrounding markets already, we have a huge step forward in that practice, and that somehow clients, but as well as employees, are becoming aware of all the benefits that this multi-channel approach, where we actually move simplified jobs from the branches toward digital, gives us a more space actually to speak more quality with our clients.
Exactly. So that is why I said it's not a threat. It basically enables employees to focus more on something smarter and to be engaged in let's say, analyzing the things that they didn't have time to do.
Thank you, Dragan. One of the topics, of course, which are always open when we talk about digital channels is it must be secured always. And it's not always easy to combine high levels of security, where you cannot compromise simply there. So there is no compromise there. But on the other hand, to not decline usability and user experience. Vladislav, I come back to you again. How would you say, what are the main criteria? I know that you did some researches on for the CE region to compare practices for the banks, how they're successful on onboarding new to bank clients, and do they really have end-to-end digital onboarding, and how it is successful? What would you say is a criteria there from your experience as a vendor what we should not forget when we speak about this?
Well, I think the end game, it's full end-to-end to be from zero to contract within minutes, without seeing the client, without touching the client. And that will be the norm in a few years. I mean, we like it or we don't. I personally have some concerns about this, but that's the direction for sure. So very quick, speedy identification and legal, and basically legal commitment on the side of the client and the bank in a digital way. It's very different for corporates because you mentioned. 2 weeks ago I was in a conference for corporate onboarding, and they're very far away from this. But if we talk about retail, it's definitely there, it's definitely possible, and it's happening. Customer experience, it's very, very important. I was very happy to hear what Gordana had to say about the regulatory. This is the first pillar, I would say. Then we have the bank that has to have the internal motivation and the key stakeholders to basically give the green light on their teams to work on that. It's very important for the people from the operational teams to feel part that they're doing something that will help the bank, and they have to, it has to be an exciting project for them. But the customer experience, it's a huge part, and customers are very demanding, and this is something that would not change. Technology is there, so it's not about the technology. It's about, I would say, internal alignment within the bank, and then just the customer experience in order to have this end-to-end process with them.
And in your experience now, where is more risk? Where do we have more risk? In current manual processes, I'm now speaking about identification, KYC, KYB, and everything else. In manual processes, or in this that we can see biometrics, NCR technologies, whatever, where will it be on the more safer side?
I would not say that, there is something that's 100% secure for sure. I mean, we all know that what you can do in the physical world in terms of fraud, yeah, it's there, and it will probably be there in the digital world as well. But there are tools and ways to monitor, to follow, and to kind of ensure the risk that you're having in that way. So, yeah, I wish I can say that there's 100% security in the digital world by onboarding, but there is no such thing. However, there are companies that have the credibility and experience to manage those and to basically help the bank to navigate, to have common and joint responsibility at the very least. So, in short, yeah, there is no guarantees. There are cases that we have seen in the industry in general, but it does seem a bit more secure than the physical world, for sure. Okay. And you have the track. You have really the evidence there. So that's what the digital world gives you. It gives you the evidence.
Probably a bigger scope of data, more trustworthy data, more up-to-date data.
Up-to-date, and you always have the record, so it's always there. I mean, you cannot escape from that.
Okay, then I would now come back again to Ms. Kalezić, and from the perspective of the regulator, how do you see the overall framework currently here in terms of all other regulations that we need to set up finally in the infrastructure on the state level to have a massive acceptance from the physical entities primarily? For the legal ones, we know that it's even more complex story. In terms of massive adoption of e-signature, in terms of massive adoption of with electronic identification, what are the stakeholders apart from banks and central bank, and how do you see the legal framework there? Are we ready for that?
Okay, so let me start again. Actually, everything starts with the regulation. As we know, it's something that we have to put in place from the beginning in order to have trust in the system, in order to start with a shifting of the mentality and the mindset of the people and the customers in the first place, to trust in the system, in the banking system from the first place, to know or to build the knowledge that it's the safety channel that can be used, especially if you have the traditional mindset now, if you are talking about the customers. I believe that for that to change, we need really clear and solid regulation to put in place. As I said, AML CFT law is one of the main laws in this area. And of course, in the same time, we have Ministry of Public Administration as one of the key stakeholders. So again, in the cooperation with the Ministry of Internal Affairs. As you know, these days we are struggling. We have a lot of challenges in close connection with one segment of identification that could be resolved in another way if we had put the system in place already. So you know that there is a huge number of clients that cannot access to the services of the banks because they haven't already changed the ID. If we had the banking sector on the first place on the line, which was really surprising for me, I have to be honest and open here, we still don't have, and I will go back to the regulation, we still don't have more than two players in Montenegro setting the online boarding within their system, which was really surprising if you ask me. We do still have a couple of needed transformation and implementation of EU regulation to be implemented from the other stakeholders, not the central bank, as I already said, but still now with this framework, banking sector and other players, financial institutions, fintech companies, they have the option to work with what we have already, which is domestic market, but still it's there and it could be used. And not to forget, we do have a possibility to act upon the agreement between the states according to the law on electronic identification, which again is not used still from the private sector, which is really surprising. When we introduced the amendments of the law, I was expecting from the private sector to start immediately with a request and with putting the system in place. Until now, just to repeat, 2 years after, we still don't have more than two players on the market, which I would like to encourage again, even knowing that there are a lot of impediments if we are talking about EU countries, as we are still third country, but not to forget we are almost there. So I would like to again to encourage the private sector to start with a serious preparation as we are getting closer to be ready to be open for the market as EU market is, which is opportunity and potential that should be used immediately. So Central Bank is there to lead, as you know, and you already mentioned, CEPA already started, TIPS clone is on the way, and we expect, of course, to have banking sector as the most important one, the healthiest part of the economy in Montenegro, to be ready for the big things to do. It's really close.
Yeah,
so.
I would just say that, again, taking this other role from my side, that it's crucial from all these stakeholders that you named, to Central Bank, Ministry of Public Affairs, Ministry of Internal Affairs, really to have the same understanding of everything that is written there and what we need to do operationally in order to go live, because just then the clients will see something out of that and really utilize something out of that. One of the final slides and the question for Dragan, it's not more, I would say, at least from my perspective again, changing something is not a risk. Not changing is a risk. So we will, I think, have later someone from Alika Bank presenting, I believe, and one of the sentences that I like to mention to my team, of course, is that it's not more about innovation in banks. It's not about being a competitive just. It's a war about cost. And if the banks manage their cost base, we will survive. Dragan, how do you see, again, from your perspective, what additionally we should do and how fast and what kind of technologies in order to maintain the branches still profitable, meaningful, and something that actually clients expect to happen there and something that they expect to happen on the digital channels fully?
Yeah, I will talk about, so it's not my opinion, it's basically what we are working with our customers. We are working with them on trends. So the trends are very important, and to follow the trends in the industry is very important thing. And speaking with the customers, I'm not sure whether you're familiar that we have one of the largest hubs in Belgrade, NCR Atleos' largest hub, not only outside of the US, but in the world, from where we are supporting customers such as JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Santander, and many other big banks across the globe. And we need to follow the trends. There are many trends that are shaping our industries, and I mean, I can name all of them, but I will mention 3 of them that I think stand out. So the first one is easy switching among application, app, branch, web, and what does that mean? It means that you start, for example, in the app on your cell phone, and you finish at the ATM or branch or web, and vice versa. The second one is increased cardless and cashless functionalities via ATM, ITM channel. It doesn't mean that the cash is dead. Cash is not dead. On the contrary, we are seeing the increase when it comes to the statistics. Again, compound annual growth rate of the cash withdrawal is plus 3% globally in the past several years. But we want to offer more than cash to our customers. We want to offer more than cash, and that is what we are doing through, I think now, 130 services that we are offering to our customers across the globe through our ATM, ITM channel. And we are also doing that through the ATM as a service model, which is a complete outsource model from the bank perspective, where we run your ATM so that you can run easily your business. And the third one is, of course, AI. AI is shaping our industry a lot, not only our industry, but it is shaping the entire world. And AI is very crucial for customer experience and services delivery. Nowadays, it is important to have services excellence and also hyper-personal experience in the banks with our customers. And that is why we are offering a variety of services, especially interactive services such as interactive digital assistant that is very popular in the Gulf region with the very sophisticated banks in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, and many other, Saudi and many other, let's say, tech leaders in the world as far as the banking is concerned. So I would summarize with these 3 trends. So we are basically trying to reduce cost by following the trends and implementing what is in the market popular nowadays.
Okay, thank you. I see that we have a minute and a half more. I never actually finished on time any of my panels and speeches, so I hope that someone has some kind of question in order not to destroy my statistics so far. So I don't know, do we have a microphone or anything for the public? If someone is, I cannot see from these slides, but if there is a question, just raise your hands and ask. Okay. If not, then I would maybe just comment, we like some sayings of those successful guys who make big tech companies, and one which is maybe the most famous said, we are stubborn on our vision and we are flexible on details. So I hope that the banks in this region will be stubborn on their vision to make really a digital onboarding possible and will be flexible on details.
May I add something to that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Say my statistics, please.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that some of the main challenge that we see is that some customers still see ATM and ITM only as a cash machine, while it is, in reality, it is a digital platform. It is a digital platform, and it is on us to change that perspective, which is what we are doing through the digital onboarding experience and also through the post-onboarding experience with our customers. Because today, it's not only important to digitally onboard successfully customer, it's basically what comes after that. It's basically the entire digital support that you are able to provide to your customers. And that is what we are doing from our hub in Belgrade, where we have more than 2,000 people supporting more than 4,000 customers in more than 60 countries, in 11 languages, covering 12 time zones, working 24/7 to support them from the digital onboarding perspective and also from the post-onboarding experience.
Thank you for that. We're out of time. Thank you to my panelists for the contribution. I hope that we answered part of the questions and that some were, of course, stayed unanswered for us as a homework for the period to come. Thank you once again.